This is Delicious Dignity, where we cultivate a self so potent, so clear, so vital, so truthful, that our life is all the more luscious for it. Let's call ourselves into being, shall we? Hello, lovelies. I am so excited to share this episode with you. You have no idea. This is the one episode I wish everybody listens to when they come to this podcast. I have recorded this episode maybe now 5 times because I'm so excited. I keep stumbling over my own words. So I'm hoping that this time it'll stick. So I'm going to try to calm myself down, and I'm going to try to show you my excitement without squealing in your ear or without stumbling over my own words. I'm going to set that as an intention for this episode. But here we go. So I want to start with the title of this episode, When You Can't Believe in Your Own Dreams. A lot of people have dreams, and then they realize that they don't believe in it themselves, or they don't realize that they don't believe in it themselves, and they try to accomplish the dreams and then wonder why the dreams don't come to fruition. And this episode gives you the solution to that, because we're going to go a little bit in depth into why it is that someone who has a dream cannot believe in it themselves. Because that's a thing. First of all, can I tell you, that's a thing. You can have a dream and you can not believe in it, even though it's your dream. That is a thing. Okay. And it's totally valid. And it happens to a lot of people, including moi. Including me. So you're in good hands. And I promise you, by the end of this episode, you will bust through that. I promise you, you will bust through that. Now, the second part of this title is a practice that makes goals possible. I specifically, intentionally, purposefully use the word goals because there's a fire behind it, because it's concrete, it's practical, and you can actually see it happen. I believe that spirituality without real life results is not spirituality at all. And so this practice here gets you those results. And I wouldn't necessarily say it's a true spiritual practice. I don't even know how you would classify this practice, but all I'm saying is that goals, everyday little goals, are what help you accomplish the big dream. And so this practice makes your everyday goals and everyday desires and everyday things that you need to do to accomplish your dreams so much more easier, because what it does is that it introduces you to the right action at the right time. And that is something that's really difficult to figure out unless you have that deep knowing that I talked about in the previous episode as a forecast for 2026. I asked my intuition, what is something that everyone should have on their vision board, on their action plan for 2026? And one of the things my intuition said that they should have on their vision board is deep knowing. What does that even mean? How do we deeply know something? How do we know something at all? This is the practice that helps you know deep down into your blood and your bones. I love how it's so aligned with the forecast of 2026. I did not plan it, so the fact that it just happened is incredible. And I want to mention how I got to this practice, right? Because I too did the 4-part ritual series that we did for closing out 2025 and going into 2026. I too did those 4 parts, right? Because these are end of the year rituals that I always do, and I was sharing them with you. And so I identified the dreams that matter to me for 2026 and beyond through those rituals that we did. And then in the last ritual, and so it was episode number 33, I think the last part of that part was when we chose the word for the year, the word for 2026. And my word for 2026 is love. And for me, this is the most loving way I can help myself. This practice is the most loving way I can help myself to actually accomplish these big dreams that I have, instead of my previous way of hustling, forcing, pushing like I used to do. And to go back to what I was saying about goals. When we use the word goals, I really want to reclaim that word, because when a lot of people use the word goals, they use it to mean pushing, striving, struggling. And what I want it to mean, especially for the context of this episode and this entire podcast, is something that upholds your dignity, not destroys it. Pushing, striving, struggling just seems to, after a while, destroy your nervous system. We cannot live in a constant state of stress and cortisol. And yes, that's where I'm coming from, and that's where we're going. Let's go into your dreams first, okay? Whatever dreams you had or you identified for 2026, or even if you didn't, that's fine. I just want you to talk about or think about dreams for a second. Any dream that you have involves a big stretch. That's why it feels like a dream, right? It involves something that's completely different. You cannot even fathom from the life you're currently living. And so your dreams will involve a big stretch. Side note, sorry, I'm going on this tangent, but I've been wanting to have a mascot or a mascot, I don't know how you pronounce it, but a mascot for every episode within this podcast. What is the visual aid that we can use for each podcast episode? And for this one, I thought of my dog or any dog when they do a big stretch and they stretch themselves out on the floor, and you can't help yourself from saying the words big stretch when they do a big stretch. So that's our mascot for this episode. Our dreams involve a big stretch. For example, in my case, here are some of my dreams. For 10 years, I have been an intuitive guide in business, but I haven't really put myself out there. I've been very comfortable with what I have, just doing the work I need in a little cave. And now the dream that I have is to make this podcast widely acclaimed. That is a big shift and a big stretch of my identity. I also want to retire from having a full-time job. The way I'm choosing to do that is to go back to India and live off my investments, while at the same time having this podcast and maybe doing a little bit of my business that I already do, but it will be in a whole new way. And that is a completely different life and a completely different identity. I'm also taking a lot of control over my own health. I'm doing a lot of tests and experiments with supplements and herbal remedies on myself. That also involves a whole new skill set. I've never really had long hair, and that's something I really want. I want waist-long, beautiful, black, curly hair. And that is something that I need to change my lifestyle, what I eat, hair products, how I wash my hair, how I take care of my scalp. It involves so many different things that I need to think about. So every one of these dreams involves a big stretch. And I tend to not believe in these dreams or any dreams I've ever had because they just seem so far away. And I've noticed this in my clients and in my friends too. They will have a big dream and then they won't believe in it. And when I looked at, I've come across so many influencers, so many products, so many companies that they are really popular. They have all the followers, they have all the sales, they have all the subscribers. And I keep looking at them and wondering, what is it that they are doing that makes them so successful? Despite everything, despite the low quality, despite everything that they're doing, people really like them. Whereas my beautiful friends and my incredible clients who have so much integrity, want to do good work, want to really make an impact in a positive way and really care about their products or the words that they use, they're not getting the accolades that I believe they deserve. And at first I think most people would think to themselves, oh, Dilshad, you're being really judgmental. How can you judge these influencers? You don't know them. You don't know what they're like. Except I do know, right? It's very obvious. You can see the quality of what they're offering and what they're saying. It's very much like either pop psychology or pop advice that doesn't have any real grounding. And so that's discernment, right? That's not judgment. So I began to ask myself, what is it that these people are doing that makes them get the rewards, so to speak, whereas these other people that I feel deserve the rewards don't get those results? And what I found from just sitting with it for a really long time is that these influencers, products, businesses, they really believe in themselves. They believe that what they're doing is right and perfect. They believe that what they're saying is absolutely on point. They believe in themselves to a degree that maybe I don't believe in myself, my clients don't, and my friends don't. It's almost radical. And putting all the morality of everything aside and the integrity and the quality aside, to me, this is the secret sauce that we've been missing out on. Because what I've noticed about really intelligent, competent, capable people is that they can see things in high definition, and they can predict things. They can see the matrix of everything. So they often doubt their own actions and their own integrity, even though their actions and their integrity are higher than most. I have realized that them not believing in themselves and me not believing in myself is the reason why we get stuck in that loop of doubt and that swirling, what if this, what if that, but what about this, but what about that? They almost never get started, or even if they do get started, they stop themselves from going further. This is what this episode is going to help you with today. I'm so excited. Okay, first of all, let's just confess why we can't believe in our own dreams. Now, reason number one, we already talked about. You're going for something really big or just very different from who you are. And you're a very stubborn person with a very strong mind that's not easily changed. So you have this stubborn, strong mind, and you have this big dream that requires you to change your mind. And so that's why you can't believe in your dreams. You have a huge identity shift to go through. This is number one, okay? It's just that the dream is so much bigger than your current reality. Number two, you have an absence of proof that this dream will work and that you can even accomplish this dream. You don't have proof. The practice we're about to do is going to give you that proof, okay? We need proof. We need to see the impact of our own work in the world. Without proof, we have a really hard time believing in our own dreams. Okay, so that's number two. We need proof. And either we tend to make ourselves not want the proof or force ourselves to not treat the proof as something that we truly need because somehow we think it's not something that we should need. So we dismiss our own need for proof. That's what I'm trying to say. We dismiss our own need for proof and we don't give ourselves the proof we need. So if we just gave ourselves the proof we need, it will be so much easier for us to believe in our own dreams. Number three, the dreams involve delayed gratification. We don't really see the immediate gratification of a dream. You have to work at it for a while before we see the gratification. And again, it's less like gratification and more like proof, but proof is very gratifying. And so there's a delay in the proof that we need in order to continue believing in our dreams. So that's a third sort of similar to the second reason. The fourth reason is our mind is coming in and trying to sit in the driver's seat instead of sitting in the passenger seat and letting our spirit lead. Again, we have very strong minds, very intelligent, a mind that is capable of processing a lot of information. And so we process a lot of information, everything that can go wrong, everything that can go right, everything that people will say, everything people will not say. And so our mind is coming in and playing driver in the driver's seat. And so that's the fourth reason why we can't believe in our own dreams, because our mind has already come in and made it impossible. The fifth reason, and probably most likely reason, is you've had an absence of positive encouragement your whole life. You've been criticized before you even had a chance to explore something, so it made you not explore it. You just haven't been given a lot of praise. You haven't been shown that, hey, these are all the things you do really well. You don't know your own strengths. So therefore, you can't believe in your own dreams. They're going to seem silly to you, or they're going to seem impossible to you. Now, the sixth reason, I don't know what number we're on, but another reason is you're just overwhelmed. It's just as simple as that. You're overwhelmed, you've had a lot on your plate, and now you're taking on more, and maybe you're burnt out. The other reason is that you've relied on inspiration too much. You've relied on inspiration over grounding. See, inspiration gives you immediate gratification. Grounding slows you down and makes you sink into your feelings, a place where a lot of very intelligent minds don't like to go. And so you've relied on inspiration to give you that motivation to do something, as opposed to grounding to help you ground what you want to do and actually accomplish it in your own life. The other reason is you're stuck in confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is the tendency to search for and even recall and remember information in a way that confirms or supports your own beliefs and values that you have about yourself or you have about your dreams. So, for example, if you believe that you will never find the love of your life because dating sucks or whatever, that's what you're going to seek information for. And that's all the proof you're going to remember from your own life that this isn't possible for you. Another reason is because of what I just spoke about, which is you see other people, specifically mediocre people, getting a lot of rewards. Everything from presidents to boxers to, if you know who I'm calling out here, to people in positions of power that are getting a lot of rewards. And here you are trying to do the right thing and you're full of integrity. And now you think that maybe you're doing something wrong. And so it's very discouraging. And the last and final part of this is you just have, because of all of the above, you just are now in the habit of making yourself wrong for everything. You just make yourself wrong. And so these are all the reasons why you can't believe in your own dreams. And the practice we're about to talk about is going to give you that proof. It's going to make you feel comfortable in your own emotions. It's going to remove the overwhelm. It's going to give you that grounding that you need, get you out of your confirmation bias, and give you the rewards now. And that is why it makes it such a beautiful practice. What is the practice? Most of you have already been familiar with this practice, I think, because it falls under the realm of subconscious reprogramming. It's about lowering resistance because we have a dream, but we have so much resistance against the dream. So how do we lower the resistance so we can inhabit the dream? So you know this part. It's about who are you going to become? It's the part of you that's going to stick because we're forming your identity into a new, like clay, into a new identity. And that's what this practice is doing. So the practice is very simple. You're going to answer this question and you're going to write for 2 minutes, just 2 minutes every day, the answer to this question. And the question is, who am I now that I am blank or that I have blank? So you're in the blank, you're going to insert your dream. Who am I now that I have an acclaimed podcast? Who am I now that I am 20 pounds lighter? Who am I now that blank? Whatever the dream is, you're going to identify that person. And it's very important that you're not thinking about it, but that you're writing it down. This is about identity. When you sit there writing about how do I sit? How do I stand? How do I look out the world through my eyes now that I am or I have whatever dream I have? You're not looking at the person, you're inhabiting them. So you're looking out at the world through the new identity, the new body, the new person that you are. Now that dream has come to fruition. So maybe at first you need to look at them before inhabiting them. And maybe you imagine them doing everyday tasks. For me, when I do this exercise, for some reason, I'm always inhabiting the body of a woman that's in a coffee shop. And I'm sipping coffee in a coffee shop. It's something mundane. It's nothing big or large. And it may sound poetic when you're writing it down. It may sound concrete. Don't judge what you write. Because the whole point is that you are inhabiting an identity of that person who has accomplished that dream. And this is what helps you lower all that resistance that you had before. Now, you might choose to have prompts. And by the way, I'm going to put all of this in the ritual guide that's going to be attached to this episode. So you'll have all of that with you. But the way to get yourself started is you can write down sentences like, now that blank has happened, I feel blank. I move blank. I am blank. I have blank. I know blank. I want blank. I love. I trust. I like. These are all the statements you can start with in order to identify who this new person is. All the statements begin with the word I. That's important. You can even begin a statement with the word my. And again, you're only writing for 2 minutes every day. If you feel that urge to continue, then continue. But stop when it feels like work. It should not feel like work, because this is a new identity. If it makes you feel sad that the thing you want isn't here, then that's a clue you're in your head. You're not feeling it first. Remember, the priority is feeling. It is not thinking. It's feeling. So if while you're doing this exercise, you think, oh, I don't have what I want, this is so sad, that is your mind. That's actually not your emotions, okay? Because you want to lead with your feeling into it. And you only have to do this for 10 days. After the 10-day mark, you will start to see that it's not feeling as inspirational or as good as you felt in the beginning, because your identity is now already forming. That's the best part. You will start to see that you're already inhabiting the new identity. So it's going to feel boring now. And so you can do then another goal, or you can stick with the same one, up to you. But I found for me, it was around the 6-day mark that I started to feel like, now my identity feels normal. It's not anything different from who I already am. And so if that happens, that's fine. Move on to the next goal and then come back to the first one you started with, after another 10 days. If it starts to feel boring or uninteresting, that's actually a good sign. Don't judge that. Okay, so I want to give you what I wrote for my new identity, so that you have an example of just how powerful this practice is. Because when I started to do this practice, I started making different decisions about the podcast, about moving to India, about my dog and how I'm going to move him to India, about my hair. For example, let me give you an example about when I started doing this for my hair, that, oh, now I have waist-long hair. I was drawn to a particular hair product that I've never heard of before and that I didn't even know existed, but I was drawn to it. And it ended up being absolutely perfect for my hair. My hair is doing very well with this new product. By the way, sorry, the new product is Tigin, Tgin. Thank God it's natural. And it's great for at least my type of curly hair. I've started using a leave-in conditioner, which is something I've never used before. And that's actually helped my hair a lot. It's not as frizzy, and it keeps the length of my curls without weighing it down. So it's just absolutely perfect, because before this, I was using cream in my hair and not leave-in conditioner. And now I've ditched the cream and I use the leave-in conditioner, and that's worked brilliantly. So this is an example, right? I started feeling into a new identity and therefore making different choices from that identity. But again, this is not so that you take action. This is so that you can achieve that deep knowing in your blood and in your bones that may drive you to an action, or may simply just gather the knowing before you take an action. Okay, so you're not doing this to manifest something. You're not doing this to take an action, because the action flows naturally. It flows naturally. You don't have to try. It's the identity that you maybe have to try at a little bit, at least in the beginning. Okay, leave the action part for later. Just know that magic awaits you from this new place. Okay, so let me show you an example from, let's say, I'm going to read you some statements I wrote about my new identity. And the question I posed to myself was, who am I now that I have a widely acclaimed podcast? So here's what I wrote. My chest feels full. I lean back. I take really deep breaths. I feel tall, honored by my own work. I thank myself for starting this. I know every episode helps. Every minor thing helps. Every tweak of a graphic, every tweak of a title helps. I never regret tweaking something or making it better in some way. I'm on point and on target every time I open my mouth and speak into the mic. I have this sense of duty to the people who listen, like I'm grateful, but also that I'm protective. I want to make sure that they're safe and well and feel well. And I stopped apologizing for that intention. The listening itself is the healing. It's the grounding, the ability to make sense of the world and not part of the market. This is my life's work, and I know it, and I'm ready for it, and I want to do it. I'm so ready. I'm past ready. I'm hot. I'm on fire. I'm in love. I feel like the voice of the pulse of the world. I feel like from God's mouth to my ears to my mouth. and into the mic. Now, some of these sentences might not make any sense to you, but I was in that feeling place. So the logic of the sentences may not have come through, but I can feel it as I'm talking about it. So that might happen to you too. It might happen that you're not sounding very logical as you're writing, and that's fine. It just means that you're in a feeling place, and that's a good place to be. Basically, don't judge what you write in any way, shape, or form. The point is to just write and feel into that new identity. Just remember, you're not looking at this new person visually. You're inside them. You're inhabiting them. Oh, another statement you can use to get yourself in the feeling place is you can use the statement. This is something I'm borrowing from Atomic Habits by James Clear. The statement can go something like, I've become someone who blank. Someone who does. I've become someone who feels. I've become someone who trusts. I've become someone who can blank. So these are all the ways you can. I'm giving you all these prompts, by the way, to make it easier to sink into that feeling place. Do you see now how this practice addresses every single reason why you can't believe in your own dreams? It really does. And you'll start to believe in them as you do this practice. And again, it just takes 2 minutes of your time. And after a while, you'll want to do longer than 2 minutes. And that's also a really good sign. Let's use an example from my own life with this podcast, right? So one of my dreams is to have this podcast be widely listened to and people really feel and have actual healing from it. And so the way in which I need to do that is to actually do some marketing. And so I've already started doing that. This new identity has helped me make a decision to sponsor on other people's podcasts. It's also like sponsor on other people's podcasts that actually feel good to sponsor, not to just do it because I need to do it. It's also led me to this marketing strategy that I have never considered in my entire life, but somehow I was just led to it. And now I'm actively doing that marketing strategy, and it feels good to do because it's not about dancing on TikTok and it's not about creating pretty reels on Instagram. It's about none of those things. It's really using my talents, which is graphic design, to do marketing. And I don't mean to sound vague, by the way. I'm only not telling you because I haven't gotten the results yet, and I only want to share things when I've gotten results. That's my bias. But I'm actively working on this new marketing direction, and it just feels really good to do. And it's given me something that employs my creativity while at the same time employs my business acumen. So it's been lovely. And then it also led me to another marketing angle that I haven't considered before. And so I'm actively working that marketing angle too. And yeah, I just feel like this new identity helps you get the knowing so that the action just spills out. Let's analyze what would have happened had I not done this first. If I had not done this first of all, I don't think I would have been led to the products, to the advice, to everything that I needed, because my mind is not paying attention to it. My mind is not looking for proof of this new identity. My mind is looking for proof of my old identity, which is to just quietly do my work in isolation in a cave, just do the work with the clients I have. They're recommending me to other people, and that's it. I could continue. My mind is only going to look for proof of that. My mind would not have led me to the people, situations, and events that led me to these new ideas because I was not looking for it. The second thing that would have happened is, let's say that you argue those things would have happened anyway, Dilshad. It's not like those things magically happened, which I would say that's false, but let's just say that you're right. Those things would have come to me anyway. Fine. Well, I would have tried to do those things and I would have been miserable doing them because my mind would have been resisting me the whole time because it cannot believe in the new dream that I'm doing. It would have said things like, and I directly quote from my own mind, it would have said things like, oh, Dilshad, this is not going to work anyway. Nothing has worked before, so why would this work? Oh, Dilshad, you're just wasting your time. Oh, this is boring. I don't really want to do this. That's what my mind would have said to me. And I would have stopped before I even started. Hello, lovelies. I quickly want to interrupt your listening experience to make a correction. I said at multiple points from this point on, I said 2 minutes a day for 10 days. And I meant that, but then I added it up and said 12 minutes total. It's obviously not 12 minutes total. It's 20 minutes total. So please keep that correction in mind. I'm so sorry. I was so excited to share this with you that my math brain went out the window. So without further ado, let's get to the show. Thank you so much for listening. Do you see what I'm saying? Just trust this process. And again, 2 minutes, only 2 minutes. 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes. Only 2 minutes per day for at minimum 10 days. And you know what? If it doesn't work, and if you don't see an improvement after 10 days, employing 2 minutes, so that's what? 12 minutes total? Yeah, 12 minutes total that you're spending on this practice. If you don't get results after 12 minutes, then you don't have to do this practice. If you don't think it's going to work, that's fine. Don't do it. But I'm seriously telling you, 12 minutes is what you're employing to make this practice work. So just 2 minutes every day for 10 days. That's all you're doing. Okay, I really care about your success. Okay, that's why I am just trying to motivate you to do this practice. Okay, and again, it's very important that you write it down. And I'll tell you why in a second, but writing it down is more important than you meditating on it. Okay? Okay. So this is a beautiful practice where your vision is what's pulling you into being. Your vision is pulling you into being. You throw yourself out and then you step into the image that you created. You know that phrase, God created man in his own image? You're creating yourself in your own image. Oh my God, mind blown. Oh my God. You're not pretending, because this is you. It's still you. It's just the you can't believe yourself to be yet. You're not making decisions from a pretend place. It's not a conscious thing. You're inspired by your own image. And then you take action from that place. You're not inspired by someone else. You're not inspired by somebody else's story. You're inspired by your own story. And so your vision pulls you, inspires you. That kind of inspiration lasts a lifetime. As opposed to just consuming inspiration from other people, you're creating your own and getting inspired by yourself. That is a virtuous cycle of inspiration, as opposed to a vicious cycle of inspiration where you need to consume more and more content just to make yourself feel well or feel capable or competent to do what you want to do. I feel like I got on my soapbox there for a second. But you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? The other thing I want to tell you, by the way, is that for me, the feeling of what new identity I was doing came before my words did. I remember the first feeling I felt was this fullness in my chest. So I wrote down, I have a fullness in my chest. So I just tried to describe what that feeling felt like. I have a fullness in my chest. My chest feels like it's not heavy, but that it's full, almost like I'm going to burst. My chest feels like it needs to expand into a bigger rib cage. So I just kept describing that feeling. And that was fine. For my first 2 or 3 times, that's the most I could get. That's good. Okay. Now, we're done. This episode is done, okay? The part I'm about to tell you is this is me now after you've done the practice. How can you take it further if you want to? Please tell me if doing something like this, both a beginner practice and an advanced practice in the same episode, is that good for you? Because I like depth. I like complexity. I like being told everything. And maybe you're not the type of person that does. And maybe I need to split this into 2 episodes. That's fine. But if that's what you want me to do, just tell me on my Instagram, Delicious Dignity, or email me, doshad@doshadmehta.com. Tell me if you like this complexity. I'm assuming that you do because that's what I feel like you would like, okay? So this is the advanced practice. Number 1, you can create your own custom meditation based on the statements you've written for 10 days. I'm going to create my own meditation where I just record my voice into a microphone and record my meditation just saying all of the statements I have said over the last 10 days. So I can just put that in my ear and have it be like a subconscious programming that runs maybe once or twice a day. You can do that. The other thing I'm doing is that I'm taking all these statements that I've written down. And do you know the holding vigil for my dreams ritual we did in part 4 of the New Year ritual series? It was episode 33. That ritual, I'm taking all the statements and I'm putting it under my oil lamp that I'm running 24/7. And I keep fleshing out those dreams every day and adding them under the oil lamp. So every day there's a new paper under the oil lamp and it sits on my coffee table where I see it every day. It's one of my most important rituals that I've been doing. And I really feel like I needed to mention it again because I've been using that ritual in combination with this one. And you can see a video of it on my Instagram, Delicious Dignity, if you want to see the oil lamp and the papers underneath it. So this is something I'm actively doing. I probably will keep doing it until the end of January, maybe even February, because February 1st is, I forgot how to pronounce this, but Imbolc. It's Imbolc. It's a tradition in I think the Celtic tradition where it's the herald of spring and it's associated with the goddess Breed or Brigid. And she's one of the goddesses I used to work with a lot. I will definitely do it until then. I may even do it to March, which is my tradition's New Year. Yeah, I just absolutely love this practice and the practice specifically of holding vigil for my dreams and then adding these papers underneath them. And the other thing I combine it with is after being told in the New Year forecast that take advantage of your spiritual benefactor, ask for help. Every time I put the paper under the lamp, or in your case, it might be a candle, every time I put it under the lamp, I ask for help and I say, Akali, please bless my dreams, show me the way, or anything like that comes naturally to you. I say that every time I put the paper underneath the lamp. I hope you can feel the sacredness of that. Okay. The other thing I did with this practice, and again, please only do this after at least a minimum of 10 days that you've done this practice. Because what I did is I did this journaling, this writing down, right before I went to bed, specifically with the intention to have my dreams show me what I need to do to bring this more into fruition. And in my case, now the thing with dreams is they will show you what you need to know. They will show you. And my dream showed me exactly what I needed to work on in order to bring this new identity into being. And what it showed me was that I was deeply afraid of persecution. And I could tell you the whole dream, but that's the essence of it. And so for the next few days in my journal, I wrote about how I don't feel persecuted and how this new identity copes with feeling welcomed and appreciated and like she belongs in this world. And then I also did some energy release stuff around, you could say, different life stories where I had been persecuted, and I worked on that to help me move forward. This is an advanced practice, okay? So you don't need to do this. I just did it because I know it, I have the tools, and I can go there, okay? But just the first 10 days alone will be enough. Oh my God, it will be 12 minutes. That's all you need. It's so amazing. Okay. And then the fourth advanced practice, which is not as advanced, but it's something that you can do for fun, which is go out into the world and pretend as if you have this new identity. And again, it's maybe the word pretend is not the right word here. You're inhabiting this new identity. So today I'm going to the farmer's market here in Sedona. I'm going to take one of the new identities that I have put together for one of my dreams, and I'm going to maybe walk as if I have really long hair, or walk as if I have everything figured out for my retirement in India. Walk as if my podcast is widely acclaimed. That's what I'm going to practice today as I'm going to the farmer's market. Okay, lovelies. I need to take a deep breath. Maybe you need to take a deep breath. We've really covered the new year, all the stuff that it brings, goal setting, intention setting, release work, mystic work, everything else that comes with it. And we covered it thoroughly. 6 episodes devoted to covering this new energy from every possible angle. And I'm so glad we did this. In the next episodes, we're going to begin talking about what it means to be an empowered woman. We're going to talk about archetypes. So we're shifting from this new year and going into other topics now, because I really believe that we've covered the new year thoroughly. Okay, lovely. And here's some real talk behind the scenes, by the way. Just behind the show, it's just me. I create the show. I put everything together from writing the episode to creating the graphics, which I'm having a lot of fun with. I've been making a lot of Pinterest graphics, and you'll see them in the ritual guides too every now and then. I create the ritual website. I record. I pay for my editor. I pay for the hosting from my own pocket. And I'm really proud of this really personalized, handcrafted space. I really am proud. And so all I'm asking is that you leave a 5-star review. If you enjoy this episode, it takes 2 seconds. It's free and an easy way to support the show. It takes less than 30 seconds of your time. And a written review will take less than 2 minutes of your time. And it will immensely benefit the show because then people can see themselves reflected in your review and know that the show would be worth their time. Okay, my lovelies, I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited. Okay, let me conclude this episode. I feel this is a beautiful blessing. So here we go. May your vision pull you into a deeper, richer state of being so that the doing just spills out of you naturally. Bye, my lovelies. Until next time. Much love to you.